Match here. We have Vidianto Wijaya versus Alex Bertoncini. For those just joining us, I'm Gavin Verhey, joined here by Patrick Chapin and Joey Pasco, and we're bringing you live coverage of the Star City Games Open Series here in San Jose. We're in round 7 of 8, so this is a crucial round for a lot of people. On your left, you'll see Vidianto Wijaya, otherwise known as Vidi to his friends. For those who don't know him, might not know the name before, he made a lot of money in Versus System. He was widely considered one of the top 2 players. Him and Michael Jacob were at the top of that game, but then the game went under, and he's been playing a lot of Magic since. I've known him for a while. He's a really great player, and I heard he's playing a pretty innovative deck here, based on some talk I heard earlier. What's that?
You keep throwing that word around like it's nothing.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Innovate.
I am with the innovator, so I feel
What's he playing?
like I have power. I think he said black-white.
Yeah, we're waiting on some.
But might be one of his opponents. I only overheard him saying it earlier, so we'll find out here in a second.
Well, black white deck actually top-aided the Open last week.
Yeah, he said there's like Nighthawk and him to Turok. I'm not sure if that was him or his opponent though, so we're gonna find out. Alex, on the other hand, is a well-known player. Made top 4. Made to the finals today, right? Yeah, finals of the Star City Games Open Series standard today.
He has 4 top 8s.
Yeah, he's just player of the year last year, won a full set of Power 9, and he is playing his old standby Merfolk. So we're going to find out shortly. This should be a pretty good match.
He's pretty hardcore with the Merfolk. He was playing Merfolk even though he knew darn well the survival was the best and completely degenerate.
Yeah.
He just played it, sticking to the craft.
I mean, that's how he does it, right? Like he played Jund and then Rug again this year. Like he just keeps playing it over and over. He gets good with the best deck, or one of the best decks, and just there's always a good weekend for it.
So I don't know if I would call Merfolk the best deck. That's very generous. But it's a deck that fits his playstyle.
It
gives him the room to do the, you know, it rewards him for being familiar with all the different lines.
Yeah, I mean the decks he's play are never always the best deck, but sometimes you just
they're good, consistent,
right?
reliable.
They're consistent, good. You just play them for long enough, you learn how to play them. You know how to tweak your sideboard.
I'm interested to see. How do you pronounce his last name again? You said
Wijaya.
Vidianto Wijaya is what I've always said, but I've only ever called him Vidi. So
okay,
let's call him Vidi.
Yeah, Vidi. Like if he's from the same, if he's cut from the same cloth as Michael Jacob, this guy should be a guy to watch.
What's that? Do you have any deck lists?
Michael MJ often found that he and Vidi were opposites by being at the top of the game. Like MJ prided himself on being a very good technical player, I feel, and Vidi tested a lot. Vidi would just grab decks at the last minute and is very self-taught, just very intuitive in the way he plays.
His very innovative deck appears to be stock counterbalance.
Man, must have been his opponent. I was so excited to see Vampire Nighthawk here.
Trying to get some deck lists.
Oh, actually. No, Prozac told us when he was in the booth that he's playing Prozac's list card for card that he played today and went 0-2 with.
So Vidi's playing countertop.
Countertop.
Okay.
Ether Vial could not. There's nothing worse than an Ether. Oh my God, the main deck Vidianto.
Oh wow.
Who is this guy?
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Just stone face. Not even doesn't even hesitate. Just cool, calm, professional. Set the pithing needle in play.
Adam Prozac noted that a lot of people have eschewed the Pithing Needle package, but he still has Trinket Mage, and he thinks it's important so we can get the needle for matches like this one where Aether Vial is the make or break card.
Wow.
And it certainly worked good here. There was no force from Alex.
Thank
and
you.
Here we are. Here are the deck lists.
So, yeah, we do have the deck lists. Yeah.
So Bertoncini hasn't really strayed from his formula very much. Yeah, he's been used Kira Glass Spinner a number of times. The Great Glass Spinner to help protect against just spot removal.
Exactly.
Yeah, not really too much different. I mean, before he had them in the board, but and more Merfolk Sovereigns. But it looks like he's made space so that his side. I guess he just has more. He has back to basics in the board now.
Is the one Mistress Factory? Has he used that before?
Yeah, he's used that a couple times.
Okay.
He always said that the first Mistress Factory is not significantly worse than the Mutavolts. The Mutavolts are better, obviously, because they all pump up and everything.
Right.
But the nice thing about Mistress Factory is that you can pump up your Mutavolts.
Oh, that's really clever.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So he said that the first, because if you play too many Mistress Factories, it screws up your colored mana, because he has Mutavault and Wasteland and Factory, and he doesn't exactly have a ton of islands, despite having some double blue cards.
Huh.
But he said the first Mistress Factory was worth it, just because of the ability to power up your Mutavolts.
Wow. So back to the game, looks like we've got a Curse Catcher in there for Alex.
It's interesting, Vidi went for another basic, trying to make sure that he doesn't get set behind by Wastelands.
Right.
Looks like he's just trying to get up to Jace mana. As long as things are relatively stable by the time he drops his Jace, it's going to be really hard for the Merfolk deck to come back.
As a man who knows his Jace as well, I'll take your word for it on this one. So there's another fetch land.
I really like Vidi's position here. I mean, the fact that that Alex is already so far behind on mana.
Yeah,
And
he's dazed.
yeah, and then and Vidi's just got a nice curve, a nice complement of cards. I mean, Counterspell is that Vendilion Click, Counterspell, and Jace. I mean,
Yeah, and I thought I saw Counterbalance too.
I mean, he's just got a nice mix of cards.
Yeah, and he goes Counterspell on the Silver Gull Adept.
Oh, so he actually doesn't have one in his hand. He needs to draw a land here is what he needs.
Okay.
Yeah, but he does have the counterbalance, the counterspell, which we just saw.
Oh my God!
There we go.
Got a feeling this is going to be a big swing point here because, like, all he has to do is, oh, he's not even going to play it.
He chooses not to. Interesting.
I guess he's trying to get, I guess Vendilion Click to come down as an additional blocker.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Oh, and this land needs wastelanded. That's rough.
Decides to use that mana, make some use of it.
What Prozac said is he felt like the aggro matchups were pretty good in general, so he didn't want to play any Fire Spouts as opposed to the list we've seen from Jerry Thompson and
Most people play Fire Spouts.
LSV. Yeah, so LSV and Jerry both are playing Fire Spouts in this tournament. Prozac was like, nope, I don't think you need them against the beatdown decks. I'm just going to play without them.
Does he even have it on the board?
Let's see. No, there are none on the
Oh,
board.
he uses Peacekeeper and Moat instead. Peacekeeper, Moat, Curse Scroll, and Engineered Explosives. Very different direction.
Yeah.
I guess he doesn't even have the red mana, though. His mana base is a little bit different.
Oh, no. Yeah, his has got some different stuff going on here than some of the lists we've seen today.
He doesn't even have Tarmogoyfs either. Just straight up blue-white.
Straight up blue-white.
Very stable mana base, but it's interesting. I guess I'm just interested to figure out how he proposes to win against these aggro decks. Like, I would love to see him play against the Elf deck.
Yeah, that sounds like a rough time. Jerry only really pulled those games out due to Fire Spout, I feel, that was so crucial for him.
I guess Engineered Explosives and Moat. I guess like Engineered Explosives, Moat, Peacekeeper. I mean, you got a few things you can do, but it's like as long as the Moat stays off the table, or Peacekeeper.
Yeah, in the meantime, I think Click, I don't know if it revealed his hand. I don't know what he ended up doing, but it doesn't look like he discarded anything. But it looks like...
Well, I certainly hope he wouldn't discard. Vendilion Click goes to the bottom.
Well, yeah, good point. He didn't lose anything, but yeah, I guess if I'm looking at his graveyard, then...
Well, no, didn't Alex have a Mutavault on the battlefield?
Yeah,
so it must have resolved and traded with the Mutavault when Alex tried to attack.
Yeah.
Right, but he had played the Click before the attack, because remember, he played it in response to the Wasteland.
Maybe he thought Vidi wouldn't block, but either way, the Aether Vial is going to ensure that he keeps getting to play threats despite not having any lands.
Needle. That's what's Needle.
Oh, the Needle's
yeah. Yeah, so I mean,
Wow.
I think at this point, Jace is going to totally take over.
He's good at that. And Alex on one land.
So I guess Alex really needs to draw another island so he can play a Lord of Atlantis of some sort. Like a Lord of Atlantis can really help him catch up a little bit here because he's got to start making progress.
He has a Wasteland. It's not exactly what he wanted, but hey, that's Silvergill Adept will help a little, and he's got the option of possibly, hopefully, will dig into another island.
See, even here, like a single Trinket Mage or a Swords to Plowshares is really would really set Alex behind. And there's the Trinket Mage. Yeah, I mean, got a feeling this game is just going to spiral out of control.
Yeah, I mean, no Fire Spouts, but Prozac just said he didn't feel like he needed them, and this game is maybe showing why. Obviously, there's still a lot of game left to be played, but...
Well, see, I don't know. Like, you don't always have the Miser's Pithy Needle in your opening hand.
It is true.
Like, must be nice, but...
I mean, although to be fair, that could be a reason as to why he kept the hand, right? Like, it was a little light on lands, and he was like, well, I know I can beat Aether Vial this way, and I know
I guess
Alex
you sit down across from Alex, you know what it's hitting for.
Exactly.
True,
Alex plays one way.
So he decides to Fate Seal Alex, trying to keep him off, I guess, keep track of what he's doing, and considering keeping him off a double blue, probably.
And also protect his Jace.
Yeah, and got a feeling that there's a good chance that Trinket Mage,
Yep, here it
Trinket
comes.
Mage, guessing at this point, top is the only other option.
Or
I guess
get
he
a
has a
seat
seated
of Synod.
Synod.
Yeah.
Yeah, he might get the seat. He probably doesn't need the top with the Jason play, but I mean he could go either way. Yep, seat it is.
It's actually kind of interesting because Adam was talking earlier about how that Cursed Scroll was main deck for a long time, and it'd be great in this situation if it was still main deck. You could play it and just start killing off the Merfolk one by one.
Yeah, but this is the exact type of situation that's like it'd be a little overkill. You know,
Right,
like the
you don't
Cursed Scroll would
actually
totally
need
take
it.
over this game, but you got a Jace at 4 that you're protecting with a
That's
Pithing
true.
Needle on Vial, so.
Oh, except there's Lord of Atlantis.
Spell snare.
Spell snare for it.
Yeah, things are gonna fall apart really quickly. And that Seat of the Synod was actually, I mean, obviously protecting the spell snare from the Curse Catcher.
Right.
So, definitely tight play, and Alex sees the writing on the wall, but still got to play it out. Just try to grind.
Yeah, did you hear about his match yesterday where he was in a situation where it looked like he should have conceded? He even told us that he was like so close to conceding, but he didn't. Stripped an Avengers Zendikar off the top to win Game 1 with 1 minute and 11 seconds left on the clock.
Wow.
It was very impressive. So many times that we thought he was out of that game, and so did he apparently.
Yeah.
But just goes to show you that you can stick in it sometimes and pull out wins you couldn't otherwise.
The board situation was ridiculous. In
It's
that
true.
match. I think there were 4 Titans on the board.
So Vidi's going to brainstorm with that Jace here, which will give him some gas, hopefully.
Well, I mean, I'm trying to figure out what Alex needs to do in order to be able to come back from this situation.
Right.
You know.
I mean, I think one of the things he can do is if Vidi just starts blinking, right? Like he has to find a way to, you know, he's not losing, but he's also not winning. Just as far as damage goes, like if you give Alex more time, he could draw more Lord of Atlantis or something like that potentially. To get
But you're
back
saying
in the game.
Vidi's not, like, Vidi's totally got this game
No,
locked up, right?
like he's not. I mean, he's winning, but he's not like actively winning, you know.
Every
But-
time you activate Jace, you are actively winning, right? Are you talking about just the life total?
Yeah, I'm talking about just like
These
he said.
decks aren't. I mean,
He
he's
just needs
playing.
to find a way to close.
He has 4 creatures that are all tiny. Like this is a deck that doesn't like.
It's
the
not
way
winning
he
with
wins,
damage,
like the way he
exactly.
wins these games is he moves Jace up to 13. You know.
I guess
think,
that's totally a possibility.
I mean, he doesn't even have anything that deals damage. You know, he's got Vendilion Click with
Right.
a Caracas, but
I mean, most of us looking to set up like top and counterbalance or something like that.
see, I don't even think it's going to come to that. I think just the raw card advantage of the fact that I mean, Alex is pretty much stuck on 1 spell a turn.
That's true.
And Vidi's drawing 2 cards a turn with a massive amount of selection with his
Right.
shuffling and his brainstorming and a deck full of great cards like Ponder and Brainstorm.
Yeah, and the 2 colors of the deck have allowed him to run some cards that, you know, the other decks might be trying to shave to cram things in like Fire Spout, but he's got Spell Snares, which look absolutely phenomenal here. And 2 Ponders, that's really interesting as even
Just a little bit more library manipulation.
Yeah. Do you think those would be better as preordains, or is the shuffling pretty important here?
Well, it's not about the shuffling. It's that when you already have a lot of shuffling, then Ponder becomes better.
Right.
Plus, Ponder has natural synergy with Counterbalance.
That's
if you
true.
lead with turn 1 Ponder, you can just set it so that your Counterbalance will counter there too.
Oh, that's very true.
Yeah, it's actually a really important line for a lot of the ways the deck ends up playing out. Plus, when you have Trinket Mages and Flooded Strands and Misty Rainforests, I mean that's a lot of different ways to shuffle already.
Right.
But the biggest thing is just the Ponder and the Counterbalance.
Yeah, that seems huge. I mean, but yeah, with that you can go like Ponder, take the top card, and then, you know, draw next turn, and then crack fetch land and shuffle everything else away. Because the issue with Ponder, one of them is sometimes you'll just have like the 3rd card you don't want, and you have to leave it there.
Yeah, or even if there's only 1 card you want, you just put the card you want on top, get that, and then shuffle that same turn if it's like turn 2 or 3 or 4. You know?
Exactly.
In general, I mean, it's pretty clear at this point. Preordain is just better than any of those if you're not going to shuffle. But like Brainstorm, I mean, Brainstorm's in a league all of its own. But like,
Yeah.
but with if you can reliably always shuffle, then Ponder has a good argument for it. And then Counterbalance pushes it over the top, just setting it up. You know? 'Cause
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Preordain doesn't set up Counterbalance very well.
Jace is, on 3 it looks like? Yeah.
It's on 3, yeah, it's
Did
pretty
he
mighty.
bounce something,
And
or-
here comes Vendilion Click. Curse Catcher definitely can't do anything about that one. And he sees Aether Vial Curse Catcher.
Oh,
just gonna,
the smirk on Alex.
just gonna leave him there.
Seems like a good plan.
And do you block here if you're Vidi? Probably not, right?
No, why? Definitely block. Sure, why not?
Yeah.
Who cares? What do you want? What are you gonna do with the Vendilion Click besides trade with the Curse Catcher?
Right, was he gonna attack 7 times?
Nah.
That's what I'm.
Yeah,
I don't think
no.
so.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with thinking about it, but plow on curse catcher is kind of cute.
All right, plow the curse catcher.
Can't really counter it. Doesn't accomplish anything.
And then
I guess.
just takes the 1.
Likes to put him on the clock.
Oh, there's curse catcher.
I guess he does want to attack. I don't know.
I mean, if
Unless he wants the Caracas to be. I don't know.
I mean, if Vidi finds like a Trinket Mage, or his second Trinket Mage, or his Videlkin Shackles, there's a number of cards you can find to take over the game here. Maybe he just wants to provide a clock. Oh, he knew Caracas was on top, so he could just return his click and do it every single turn.
That's why he was letting the.
Which is pretty nice.
Yeah, so he did swing.
Nope, but he opts not to do it this turn.
Well, no, he doesn't need to do it yet. It doesn't accomplish anything to be in his hand. It's gonna he'll do it later. Like at this point, he might as well just wait to keep the click in play.
Well, at the end of his opponent's turn, he could have returned it and then cast it and seen. Oh, he knows the last card is Aether Vial, so it's not going to accomplish anything. You're right. So brainstorming with Jace.
Caracas with Vendilion Click is quite a bit more efficient than Riptide Lab.
Yeah,
it is true.
Caracas is such an unbelievable card.
You know, it's great. It enables so many things. First of all, it returns Emrakul to Aeon's Torn to their hand.
Or Iona.
Or Iona.
Exactly.
But also, like, we've seen it in the Green and Taxes deck. It featured one of those earlier return Mangara, Koronor, return Gaddock Teague. You know, it does a number of things. You can even return your opponent's Vidalian Click.
Usually not that effective.
Right, but
you know, they tap out for a click or something, or return it back.
So just as a tempo threat.
Right, getting some damage.
Just grinding him out. I see what you mean about Vidi having an opposite style of MJ.
Yeah. And there's counterbalance.
Counterbalance.
The noose continues to tighten.
Nope, no Thought Sword.
Blue-white control with Trinket Mages and just lots of good cards.
And Jace the Mind Sculptor.
I mean, definitely headlining the topic, good cards.
Yes, that's how it. Oh, Jace is just in a league of its own, right? Like,
but I think, in its primary victory condition, you know, he doesn't actually bother with that. Like, I mean, obviously you have Vendilion Click with Caracas, but that's not even. I mean, most of the time, once you lock him out with, you know, if you have Jace, you can usually win from any position once you counterbalance lock him.
I mean, especially in Legacy, you just have top counterbalance. Then there are only so many cards that they can draw. You just keep looking at their top card, and that's it. So,
hey Gavin, that came entirely unplugged. I can see the plug. It's
there's
about 6 inches from the thing.
For those of you at home, there's this faulty screen that we have having trouble with all day. It keeps turning on and off, flickering, and now it's just apparently unplugged. We plugged it back in.
So we should be good. We have a higher resolution screen. There we go. So we can see a little bit better. We can also see underneath the graphics.
So Alex drops down to 9, and Jace is on 2 counters. Just maintaining parity with the Fate Steelium Jace. And Click gets in for 3.
Yeah, at this point, it's like he's just trading. I mean, Alec just keeps attacking into Jace. Jace just keeps Fate Sealing, and in the meantime, Vidi is just swinging in with Vendilion Click.
Oh my.
At this point, there's no. I don't think Mind Sculpting is exactly what's gonna.
I wonder why not Vendilion, why not return Vendilion Click to his hand and click himself? Or is he just holding the counterbalance, the second counterbalance in his hand to have a 2 in case he needs to put it on top of his deck?
That's potentially true. The Merfolk deck doesn't run any hard counters, right? That could counter that Vendilion Click?
Force Will? Yeah, but he knows Alex's hand. Like, he always knows Alex's hand.
Oh, because of his Jason. Well, he's been putting several cards on the bottom now, though, so he's not totally certain on what Alex has in his hand. And if that click is just 2 attacks away from victory, it doesn't make a lot of sense to risk that. Plays the second counterbalance. It's a little mysterious.
Alex packs it up.
All right, and there we go. Alex packs him in. And VD takes the first game, and, you know, Prozac was just in here. It's like, don't need Fire Spout. I feel perfectly fine on my own. I can use my cards to deal with it, and that's what we just saw. VD took that game, and he's got a bit of a smile on his face there as he heads to his sideboard.
So while they're shuffling up, Patrick, you mentioned on Twitter that you have a preview card coming up on the 19th, right? This Wednesday.
Yeah, Wednesday on Star City Select. I'm gonna have a preview card, an exclusive preview card. and it's definitely very exciting. It's definitely my favorite preview card I've had. It's.
Yeah.
I mean, I've had some cards that have been fringe, reasonable players who, they have applications, but this is the first one I've gotten that is going to be pretty big. This one's exciting.
Right. Yeah, I know you. I actually even wrote down what you tweeted to Brian Cowell about him loving the card.
This is definitely a card after Brian Cowell's heart.
Yeah.
He will definitely be a big fan of this one.
Now, did you say something about you were going to be dropping hints on your Facebook page?
Just before,
okay,
on the public Patrick Chapin, the Innovator public figure page.
Okay.
Just leading up to the official preview.
Okay.
It's still a few days off. The problem with giving too much information about previews, people are very resourceful, especially with the orb, with the 2 different orbs. So tell them anything too far in advance, then they'll crack the code immediately.
Yeah.
So let's see. What can I say? I can say it is a nice source of card advantage.
That's good. I like that.
But it's a card after Brian Cowell's heart. Those things don't normally...
Wait a second.
I mean, he likes Revel Arc Ranger Vios, I suppose. Interesting.
It's Revel Arc of Eos.
Brian Cowell's a man who has liked Siege Gang Commander more than most as well.
That's true, yeah.
That's true.
It sounds like you're previewing Hero of Bladehold.
No, see, Hero Bladehold's even though it makes more cards, it's not really card advantage because it's really just one threat, right? Like the Hero of the Bladehold's the only threat by itself,
at first, right? But
I'm,
it's not like those other tokens disappear once the hero's gone. If the hero,
yeah, but if you're hitting them with a Hero of Bladeheart, I mean, once you're at that point, it's not even really about card advantage anymore. It's about the fact that you have this threat that goes from 7/4 to 11/4.
Right. Okay. So it's not Hero of Bladehold. That's another.
No, my card is not the same card that has been revealed.
Okay.
I mean, all these token-making effects seem very good, and it's that with Battle Cry, because that's obvious synergy there. Great for limited play, great for constructed play. And if it's like Siege Gang Commander, I think it'll be a winner.
I didn't say it's like Siege Gang Commander. I said Brian Cowell likes Siege Gang Commander.
Of course.
We're just trying to...
I'm definitely not saying anything about whether or not it's like Siege Gang.
We're going to try to break the code right here, just between the two of us.
All right, no more. Let's get off this topic before suddenly Chapin's awesome preview card is ruined.
As long as it's not Archmage Ascension. No, that one, I mean, that's the thing about when you talk about cards, not just spoiling them, but when you analyze cards, do you say what is a situation, what would have to happen to make this good? And that's just a way that I don't feel like a lot of people look at cards.
I mean, when I got the preview card of Archmage Ascension, obviously Archmage Ascension, nobody had any doubt that Archmage Ascension is among the weaker cards, most narrow cards in the set. But it has applications, and rather than dismiss cards because you're like, oh, that card's obviously just that's crazy. Why would anybody do that? That's too hard, or that's whatever. Instead, looking to see what might make it actually good.
Right.
Because you got to remember, Necropotence was dismissed right out the gate too. People dismiss all kinds of insane cards because they're just so obviously bad.
Yeah.
So it's so much better to instead just think about what are possible ways to use a card. Even if it's not going to end up breaking the tournament open, it's interesting to understand what it is. Plus, who knows, maybe some context changes. Maybe they print a card in Mirrored and Besieged that makes Archmage Ascension insane.
Right. I mean, it is still standard leaf. We could actually see that happen.
Okay, imagine if there's some land that enters the battlefield taps for colorless, and during your draw phase you draw an extra card and then put a card back.
Yeah.
That card doesn't actually do very much for you, but it doesn't cost you that much either. It gives you this weird little tiny bit of selection, maybe with shufflers or whatever.
Right.
But it makes it so you're technically drawing 2 cards a turn.
2 cards, yeah.
And then you can trigger the Archmage Ascension relatively easy.
Jace draws 3 cards.
Well, but if you have Jace, you're winning anyway.
That's true.
That's something that you might do that's super low to the ground, that's super low investment. But and I don't know that there's any card like that, but it's still good to understand that, so that when new things come, you can try to analyze the new context. Because Magic is a really complicated system. There's so many different things going on, so many different cards, so many different people. The metagame changes, so many different decks, and new sets always coming out, and errata, and new cards getting banned or restricted or unbanned, so trying to mentally get some kind of mental space where you can figure out what cards are for, what you can do with it, just seems like a very good shortcut.
Now, you just reminded me of something when you were talking about the bannings and unbannings. We had Jerry in here yesterday.
Oh.
And he told us you didn't bring a land tax deck so that you guys could do your challenge, which you guys talked about on Yo MTG Tabs. Remember the land tax?
No, he didn't ask me about a land tax deck.
No, he didn't say that he asked you about it. But
No, he didn't.
But
Oh,
no,
yeah,
he didn't say he asked you.
Oh
about
yeah, I
it,
have a
but-
land tax deck.
Oh, do you have one with you?
Yeah, I didn't play it in this event because they
Well,
wouldn't let
obviously
me
it's not
play
legal.
it.
It's not
You know,
legal, but
yeah, this event.
I guess.
Yeah, I borrowed an
yeah.
affinity deck for the one round I had time to play
Right.
here, but yeah, I mean my land tax deck doesn't fit these tournament rules.
No, not
if he
at
wants
all.
me to beat up on his.
No, but you guys had the
Yeah,
challenge where
absolutely.
is he around? We gotta get that. We gotta do that. Yeah,
All right,
you
yeah.
You guys gotta do the land because
I
that
was
that was the
originally
thing.
planning on doing it in Atlanta, but I don't think he's going to be able to make it to that one. So I think we're going to do it here.
I mean, if
yeah.
you guys are up for it, I didn't expect it. I kind of assumed you just didn't
Oh
have it
my
because
God,
we didn't
absolutely.
hear any more about it.
Jerry wants to play me with where I get to play land tax and he doesn't. That's his format.
Because
Yeah,
the,
legacy. Brian Kibler here.
Brian
Let's
Kibler's
get
here.
Brian. What's your perspective on this? The rules are, Jerry has to play legacy. I have to play legacy, but I must have land taxes in my deck.
That seems sort of weird.
Except he has to play the same deck he played in the Open.
Okay, that
That's
seems fine. 'Cause, I mean, it's like, okay, well, what sort of deck would you go with land tax? What's good against that?
No.
Belcher, right?
Jerry has
Oh,
to play.
he wants to play a counterbalance deck against a land tax deck?
That's his plan. He has to. He didn't know it was going to be
Does he
counterbalanced
just-
at the time. At the time he made the I guess
the challenge,
the dare.
right, right.
Yeah,
Sure.
the challenge. It was that.
Was Jerry like born yet when land tax was like legal? Like,
No, like these kids today have no. He said it's not even good, is what he said. He said it's not even good. It wasn't that he said it was broken. He said it's not even good.
That's wow.
Demented.
Yeah.
Talk about a guy who's never had to sit there discarding for the first 5 turns of the game because each player just.
Mark Steinman, land tax, go.
Yeah, shit.
Your turn. What do you want to do? And would you? Oh, you want to play? No. What do you want to do? Well, we'll see if we can get that maybe even under
Under the
SCG
camera,
Live
yeah, that would be
later if we have some
fantastic.
extra time. In the meantime, we have game 2 of this match going on, and Alex led off a double Chris catcher, and Vidi has his top. No Aether Vial out of the Merfolk deck this time, and no Pithing Needle to rival it either.
But he does have Moat.
The curses are getting caught. Well,
Moat is really hard for Alex, isn't it?
yes. The thing about Curse Catcher is instant or sorcery. It is not non-creature like Spell Pierce is. So if he drops a moat,
There's 4 Korra Home Commanders, 2 Kira Great Glass Spinners, and that's pretty much it.
that
So-
can attack through moat.
Yeah, like as far as getting through Moat, like he has no bounce, he has no outs to it. He has to just win with one of his 6 flyers. I mean, obviously he also has Force of Will somewhere in his deck, but this is going
He
to...
has a wasteland in play. Like moat costs 4. Oh my!
And he draws the Miser's Engineer Explosives.
And it resolves.
This is, dude, this guy.
Pretty impressive.
Vidi is, wow, this is really bad. This is really bad for Alex. So,
All right, so this
casually
Curse Catcher's
just
gonna get-
attacking for 3. Stone face, just, it's not a problem, whatever.
And he knows things are only going to get more problematic from here, as all those Curse Catchers are going to head to the graveyard.
Well, the sick thing, yeah. I mean, and Alex doesn't have another land.
Well,
Wow.
all right, so he's going to crack it, and here comes Engineer Explosives. Spinning the top first, of course. I guess just
You
grabbing
could
a
do it
random
the other
card.
way. Like, I don't know if he has another top. There's always, like, the alternative. Did he just forget to do it?
Yeah. Alex
Oh
just,
my
threw
God.
He
the-
just didn't do it?
He just didn't do it. The correct, so that was just a punt, because the correct
yeah,
play,
of
if you don't want the top, is to just activate
Put
the
it on
top
top,
and
yeah.
explode in response.
Right, and then you
so
select
he
the
should just draw
card.
an extra card.
Yeah.
So I mean, that was just a mistake.
In his head, he's like, don't even need the top to win this match.
Yeah, but,
Like,
who doesn't want an extra?
Right.
card?
exactly. I mean, that's how I feel.
So-
I mean, I'm sure it was just a
Definitely,
gigantic mistake.
definitely a little bit of a mistake, but things are looking good
Oh,
for
and there's that
Vidi
curse
anyway.
scroll.
No, that's another
Another
top.
top.
Yeah, no,
He's got a trinket
yeah,
mage.
trinket mage.
He boards in 1 curse scroll. They had it main deck
That's
for a while, but he said they didn't need it main deck. So
Yeah.
curse scroll's a sick trinket
Yeah,
mage
that seems
target.
sweet.
Talk about the cards you won against all these tribal decks.
So,
Yeah, I mean, especially the way the counterbalance deck plays, so often it only has 1, 2 cards in its hand.
There's a creature that can attack.
Yep, Korra Home Commander. Although it looks like he has Jace the Mind Sculptor now.
Oh, that's going to be an issue. But he's choosing to go for the top.
Well, he doesn't have a 4th land at the moment.
And I think I saw swords in his hand. Nope, maybe not.
Yeah, he's looking for that 4th land. Oh, found a sword on top. Oh, no, I think he saw a sword before, but he put it back.
Okay.
Oh, no, it's Ponder.
Yeah. The original Ponder.
Looking for a land. Oh my
There's no
god.
land there.
He's shuffling away moat. This seems
Interesting. I'm
Like, I
curious why
think-
I chose this line of play.
It seemed like he was in a better position a couple minutes ago.
like,
Before he failed to get his extra card.
Yeah.
and then the extra card turned out to be moat because he put the moat back.
Yeah. He ends up losing. That play actually cost him moat.
I mean, and the game's still going very well for him, but
it just
like there are we're starting to see the beginnings of a potential avenue for
Wait, is his hand just Jace?
yeah. This is
Is
just
it 3
gross.
cards or 2 cards?
3.
Well, Alex can get to a 3/3, but
Not if he doesn't have another land. Oh, but
he had no land. He dazed.
drew land. Oh, he dazed. There you go.
Yeah, so Curse Scroll is not going to just kill it,
Okay.
but
He has no outs to Curse Scroll. Like other than obviously this. Like
Yeah.
I mean he has no
Race-
way to get rid
No
of it.
Pithy Needle or anything?
No,
Nope.
is
nothing.
there not another land? He may not be able to pay for a daze. I don't know if Alex actually has a daze in his hand.
This is a pretty fast clock.
I mean,
It would be insane if Alex pulls this out.
And
There's the land. This is pretty much a wrap. Force of Will for the game. Force of Will for the game. God, if he has Force of Will here. Oh.
no, he doesn't.
No force.
That goes back. Alex slaps those islands down. A little
And,
frustrated.
Pretty sure Vidi has a.
He's like, I
spell
can't
pierce.
believe it.
pulling his hair out.
I think Vidi has a spell pierce in hand.
Gotta give it to Alex. Mana screwed 2 games in a row. Still just grinding. His opponent gets rid of the. I mean, I guess he doesn't know that his opponent doesn't have moat, but Curse Scroll, the needle.
Oh, oops. Show
Oh
you
my
spell
goodness.
snare.
So yeah, he does have spell snare, but he didn't even. He just decided to kill it with the scroll.
Oh, of course. Why not?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it makes sense. I didn't realize he only had 1 card.
Yeah.
Dead man.
This is it.
Yep. If Alex pulls this one out, I don't know what to tell you.
Is he gonna play Kira? Yeah, that's a card that matters
That's a
a little.
start,
I mean,
yeah.
he can just attempt to bounce it with Jace, then kill it
And
with
then
Curse
kill-
Scroll.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
So I think that's Medallion Click and Spell Snare.
I think Alex's play at this point is hoping that Vidi does a game rule violation or something.
Wouldn't be the first time.
I mean, you also, like, if you don't, like, you might as well play it out in a lot of these scenarios because you don't know. Like, maybe the other person does mess up somehow. You can't always be
Absolutely.
sure.
Right.
You don't know, like, what times you're wrong about
Right.
the fact that you can't win.
Right, exactly. And maybe he just gets a warning, or already has a warning for some dumb thing, right? Like,
But what if he plays? What if his next 3 draws in a row are all mutables,
there are definitely.
or a Mishra's Factory and 2 mutables?
Oh, there you go.
This is a game 2 situation. Where Alex is down a game.
It doesn't accomplish anything.
Well, but what I'm saying is that there's a lot of times when you see people who concede like dramatically before they should, especially in game 1 situations. For instance, like I was playing a match in the Legacy event today where my opponent thought seized my Mox Diamond and left me with like a hand of completely uncastable spells, and he just spent the entire game discard, while his Dark Confidant revealed cards that let me get information about his deck for game 2.
Yeah.
I mean, like I think a lot of players would just be like, "Ugh," and concede in frustration. But I mean, I was getting some kind of value there by getting information from what my opponent played and revealed from Confidant.
Absolutely.
People concede way too often.
Agreed,
They just
agreed.
want to get out of that
Right.
feeling bad that
Exactly.
they're losing.
And,
They just want
and
to stop.
they're just losing value every time that they do it.
The only times that I feel like it's right to concede is either when you're going to be giving away information, like if you start discarding, they don't know what your deck is, something like that, or if you're low on time. Like
I
those
mean,
are
there's
two
a few
things.
other factors that can relate. Like, for instance, I mean, under extreme circumstances, maybe you really need to go get some food or something. No, I'm serious. Like,
Sure.
if it's, but for the most part, if it's not game 1, if it's the final game, like if you're facing elimination,
Right.
you're not going to win by conceding.
Right.
And you could always be wrong. Like, what if there is a way? People have won like unwinnable games before.
Yes.
Ryan
Exactly.
Kibler's probably made a career out of winning a winnable game.
Dagger.
Oh yeah, need some more juice.
brainstorm here, Vidi.
Oh, I didn't mean it to be a dagger. I meant it to be a high compliment. Like having the just fortitude to not give up, and then people eventually make a mistake that if they would have just played tight, you know.
It's true.
So Alex turtling up here, going into his shell, looking for a solution. I mean, he's running out of time for the solution to be Mutavault, you know. Like I think he needs to draw Mishra's Factory next turn and then Mutavault the turn after. You know, he needs to.
Yeah, he's got to have a good draw here. It's not unwinnable, but it certainly isn't a great situation.
There's a Caracas alongside that.
Nope. So he's going to throw away his Jace to curse scroll down that Kira. Oh. Hey, what do you know? Another Jace.
He's got to be careful.
I mean, what if he just gets dazed here? Although I guess he just Vendelion clicked him, so he knows what's in his hand.
So Vidi down to 8 life.
I mean, board position looking good, but I agree if he draws a bunch of Mutavaults.
So what if he plays a Jace, Fate Seals, has to ship to the bottom, then the top card is... Wait, does Alex have another land?
I don't think so.
Okay, the top card is another Mutavault. And then, so the top 2 cards are both Mutavaults, one goes to the bottom. Then he plays Mutavault, the next turn he draws Mishra's Factory. I mean...
Alright, so here we go, he shifts it to the bottom.
Shifts to the bottom. So, I mean, there are sequences here. Because if Vidi's only at 8, and here even if he plays a Mutavault, he can hit for 2, hit Vidi, don't even hit Jace at this point, hit Vidi, knock him to 6 with 2 Mutavaults in play, and the next turn just draw Mishra's Factory.
I'm surprised Vidi served with that Vendelion click. I thought he'd want to leave it back to block that Mutavault potentially.
I think that Vidi might be slightly just wanting this to get over. Like, he's a little bit, he can tell that he's made a few, minor things, and he just, he's a little uncomfortable. He just wants to close it out,
Yeah. And that feeling where you're like, okay, I let this game slip away, I need to close it out before
but it's not even
happens.
slipping away. This is one of those things where it's so far in the bag that you just don't want to be the guy who loses the 99.9%.
Right, exactly.
There's 13.5 minutes left in the round.
Oh, wow. This game has taken quite a while. Game 1 was was that another Kira? Wow.
That is
oh, it is another one.
Yeah, that's his third. He only has 2, right?
Trying to buy himself. So here, the interesting thing. The interesting thing here is that then if Jace tries to bounce it to fizzle so the Curse Scroll can hit, he doesn't get the Fate Seal. Now the Ponder could miss, so he has stone nothing, and then Alex can draw Mishra's Factory this turn,
right?
And Vidi could attack with a click. I mean,
a number of things could happen. A Pithy Needle on Mutavault. Ugh. So that Pithy Needle that's on top of Vidi's deck right now could shut down Mutavault, which is gigantic. But I don't know if he's going to be too restrained and just want to save it for Aether Vial potentially.
So I guess...
Nope, he's just going to run it.
Mutavault. Well, alright. Alright, so... Alex could draw a land and a Lawan Cephaloid Empress.
He did just draw a land, and he played in an island.
Maybe he boarded in Sower of Temptation. Seems a very peculiar card to board in this matchup.
Maybe he shuffled in all 15 and forgot to take one out.
I mean, Sam Black won a game that was completely unwinnable where he thought he had just no possible outs against Paul Chian in the top 8 of U.S. Nationals. Thought he had stone, no outs at all, but didn't concede anyway because you might as well play it out. We can't win if he concedes.
Right.
His back's against the wall. And what does he draw? Sudden Spoiling. A card that there's no way in the world he would board in the Fairy Mirror. Or against fairies, not Fairy Mirror, but against fairies. But he had it in his sideboard, and then he accidentally sideboarded it in because he did the 15 in,
right.
15 out.
We were talking about this yesterday. Yeah.
And then when he boards for the next game, he's trying to figure out, am I supposed to keep it in?
I mean, I think if you see it once, it's going to screw him up enough that he's going to have to play around it.
So Alex is definitely running out of time before...
Vidi decides to go on the attack plan.
Because, see, Lawan, if he accidentally sideboarded into Lawan, that's an out. It doesn't get Curse Scroll. I guess there's Jace.
It's a rough board position for Alex. I mean, although the Mishra's Factory can still get in there, it is not a named Mutavault, but that's not going to be enough on its own.
There's just, way too many things going wrong here for there to even be. I mean, his only realistic out is Vidi doing something,
drawing an extra card,
or just making a big mistake, using his cards wrong, not naming the wrong card with Curse Scroll type stuff.
Sure. I mean, it could happen.
So what are their players' records? What are these guys' records?
These guys are
Should be.
I think
I
they're
thought we had the standings.
X1.
Are they X1?
Because I know Alex is X1, so either Alex is playing up.
So does this puts Alex? This would knock Alex out of top 8.
Yes. This is a big match. And
I mean, I guess he top 8'd the other one, so he's keeping up his pace.
Is this the current, most recent pairings?
All right. So
Alex making one last salvo here.
Last ditch effort.
yeah, they're both 5-1 going into this round. And yeah, he drops a couple cards.
He's got one more coming. There's a Wijaya trigger on the stack. And Vidi is contemplating.
There's a Lord of Atlantis in his hand.
Yep. So this is where he's debating. Is there any way he can sneak the Lord into play, or does he just play the commander and hope that somehow it gets hit? This is a reasonable decision because, like, either way, if his opponent plays tight.
So there's the commander.
So now he's got to hope that his opponent hits the commander. Vidi continuing to take away all of Alex's fun.
Why are you trying to win, Vidi? It's no fun for Alex.
Alright, so he taps the island. Levels up that commander for once. Alright. Scroll the Wijaya. And looks like he's scrolling again.
Oh, Peacekeeper.
That could be make things difficult.
Yes, as if there was any doubt, Alex has stone 0 outs to Peacekeeper in his entire deck.
I doubt he boarded in. Yeah, no, there's nothing actually.
I mean, there's Submerge. Doubt he boarded in against blue-white, almost creatureless.
If he had that sword, he could take it and then not pay the upkeep.
If it didn't get scrolled. In this whole situation. This is a lot of different locking components.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's just got so many.
just
So many
under the weight of
options.
so much pressure.
So has how long has Vidi been playing Magic like heavily, where he's been getting back into
I don't know, Gavin. you're the one
He's been playing it for a while. He played it before he played Versus, but Versus was very profitable for him, so he just kept with that. He won like 2 of the pro circuits, maybe 2 or 3, top 8 at 6, something insane like that, and that was really good. But then obviously when that went downhill, he started getting back into Magic. He won a PTQ. I roomed with him in San Juan, and played in Pro Tour Berlin. So he's been playing for a while. I don't know. We'll try and get him in the booth maybe. I'll step out for a second. We can see if we can talk to him.
Report to the dealer booth at your convenience. Tim Young to the dealer booth at your convenience.
And that commander gets leveled up a little more.
Vidi shuffling his library for a little apparent reason. Got to reduce his life total. Keep it interesting.
Yeah, I was going to say the increment of 1 might not matter, but it actually does because of the power and toughness of the Coral Helm Commander and the Curse Catcher.
Not that it matters that much. He's got a Peacekeeper in his hand.
Right, exactly.
He has only to play the Peacekeeper to seal the deal. But I guess he can't be sure of what Alex's sideboard is.
Right. Maybe he has engineering
Alex could have a Curse
explosives.
Scroll or something.
Right, exactly. Who knows?
And we have another Swords to Plowshares. Oh, he got rid of the Peacekeeper.
Interesting. You figured he was
Right, well, that would destroy all of the drama.
I think he just feels like, oh, I'm going to kill him with Medallion Click. I don't want to cast this Peacekeeper.
He has shuffled away Moat and Peacekeeper.
Man, it's so weird. It seems like you want to keep that just as a safety net in case something goes wrong, you know?
Yeah. Well, there's
How
a
he's going to plow. All right,
Plow
he's
for
gonna plow that guy.
Commander.
Oh, for sure.
And then Surf for 3. Probably, do you think you Curse Scroll the Curse Catcher here or just pass back? Just for an update, the Elves deck we looked at last round, that was really awesome, just lost, but no doubt we'll have a deck tech up on them on the
Apparently,
main site.
no, sir.
No deck tech?
No deck tech. Yeah, Glenn's out of time.
Oh, that's unfortunate. Well, hopefully his deck list makes its way onto the internet for you guys to check out.
Attention draft open players. Once again, attention players in the second draft.
Can I put his deck list in my pocket
Pairings for round
after
three
the event is over?
You can room. Once again, find your pairings for round 3 of the draft open.
Yeah, I mean, if you have the deck list around.
All right. Oh, there's a trinket mage.
Oh, it is this one. Okay. Here it is. Yeah, I for some reason looked at it and didn't even see. For some reason, thought it was something different.
Oh no, I gotta memorize.
Really? I don't.
Quiz me.
First, we're going to quiz Chapin on this deck list, and then we're going to have a land tax, non-land tax challenge.
That's exciting. I'm excited to watch the land tax challenge.
Yeah, so for those of you who don't know, this was on Yo MTG Taps episode 50. We had Patrick on with Jerry, and there was discussion about whether or not land tax being unbanned in Legacy would be, whether or not that should be a realistic, or I guess basically, would it be too strong if it were unbanned in Legacy? Patrick is on the side of absolutely, I think. And
Yeah.
Jerry.
Now, keep in mind, I'm also on the side of loving land tax.
That's true. That's true.
Like, I love land tax more than most. I would love to play some land tax. The only problem is that I would love to play land tax much the same way I would love to play survival of the fittest.
Yeah. So and that's kind of your assertion here. It's a strong card.
It's not just a strong card,
Yeah.
but
So-
yeah, it's also undesirable for tournament play. But
So we'll get that too.
Yeah.
And
I
V
gotta
takes
duck it
that
up.
match down.
Okay.
Thank you guys very much.
Thank
Absolutely.
you,
Thanks
Chapin,
for-
and
thanks for
we'll
being
catch
here.
up with you later to
Yeah,
grab
I'll be
that.
around.
Cool.
Gotta go grab some food.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
sounds good.
Yeah.
Good work.